Welcome to Airborne Flight Training. Coming up on this week's episode, 140 Alaskan pilots face surprise rechecks in 2 weeks. Boom Supersonic selects FlightSafety as training partner. National Test Pilot School announces new business unit. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. 140 Alaskan pilots face surprise rechecks in 2 weeks. The FAA issued notice that almost 140 pilots will be required to take a new check ride in order to retain their certifications after defrocking a longtime DPE in Alaska. Pilots who took their Instrument and Flight Instructor check rides, both initial and add-on, with backcountry aviator Don Lee between July 2018 and May 2022 will be required to be re-inspected to keep those ratings and complete the recheck within 15 days. From the sound of things up north, locals were not given notice directly, with most finding out about the issue from an FAA notice sent out to local offices. The FAA merely saying that the competency of so-tested airmen is, quote, in doubt, end quote. The Christmas surprise includes a passage of particular holiday joy. Quote, airmen who cannot complete the exam within 15 days of receipt of the letter must contact the Anchorage FSDO and temporarily deposit their airman certificate in accordance with paragraph 8, end quote. The letter itself is dated December 12th. For foreign airmen who tested during the span, things would be even trickier, requiring them to, quote, appear in the United States at their own expense, end quote, or downgrade their certificate or rating issued by the DPE. Airmen must respond to the FSDO within 10 business days of receipt of their letter. And after the break, Ukrainian drone school seeks funding.
Throughout the globe, Piper Aircraft has hand-selected the very best in company representation, service, and support. From first inquiry to acquisition to product support, Piper Aircraft ownership is seamless and worry-free. Piper Aircraft authorized dealers, factory trained, factory connected.
Aviation Safety Resources is disrupting the market for aircraft emergency parachute recovery systems. ASR systems are smaller, lighter weight, and offer longer repack cycles than similar products available in the current market. ASR has a recovery system available for every type of aircraft: sport, experimental, light sport, general aviation, urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing, electric propulsion, and unmanned aerial systems. Find the right product for your aircraft at aviationsafetyresources.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some other interesting stories. Ukrainian drone school seeks funding. A Ukrainian NGO has educated more than 400 soldiers to operate UAVs throughout the last 9 months, and now they're on the lookout for additional funding this holiday season. Advanced Defense began UA Drone School to continue their goal of training Ukrainian troops on the use of drones in wartime. The group says they need $120,000 in donations to keep the school open. Started in April of this year, the initial funding from founders Dmytro Mazurenko and George Nikolaev has been able to buy some time for the UA Drone School, but funding is running out. FAA issues new weather text. A new textbook from the 8083 series of FAA publications dropped earlier this month, the Aviation Weather Handbook. FAA H808328 combines a number of advisory circulars frequently cited by CFIs and PPLs alike in their check ride prep, conveniently bound into one single volume for easy reference and a more cohesive narrative. In one simple publication, free when downloaded from the FAA's website, pilots can obtain a high-quality teaching and learning resource regarding weather formation and its attendant risks. Flair airline pilots ratify new contract. The pilots of Flair Airlines, represented by ALPA, have voted to ratify their first collective agreement with the ultra-low-cost Canadian air carrier. Of a vote comprising 88% of eligible Flair pilots, 65% voted in favor of a 3-year deal that includes improvements in quality of life, compensation, and job security. Prior to the agreement, Flair pilots had toiled 2 years under uncertain working conditions for comparatively low wages. FAA updates pilot vaccine usage. Following the emergency use authorization from the U.S. FDA for Johnson & Johnson's Janssen COVID-19 vaccine, the FAA has determined that pilots and others who perform safety-sensitive duties may receive the vaccine under the conditions of their FAA-issued Airman Medical Certification. FAA and contract air traffic controllers who are subject to FAA medical clearance may also receive the vaccine. And that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Boom Supersonic selects FlightSafety as training partner. Boom Supersonic has partnered with FlightSafety International as the exclusive training partner for their Supersonic airliner. FlightSafety will develop a training program for Overture pilots, mechanics, and cabin crew. FSI is the premier professional aviation training company and supplier of flight simulators to the world's leading commercial aircraft manufacturers and operators. FSI will develop a training program and curriculum for Overture pilots, mechanics, and cabin crew specifically tailored for supersonic flight operations. Given the Overture's novelty as the only aircraft of its kind in the market, FlightSafety will draw upon the expertise of stakeholders to develop adequate training procedures. FlightSafety's in-house facilities will be open to Boom customers as usual, but commercial customers may also tag them in to develop and conduct internal training on the Overture. The first act under the new deal provides flight deck simulators for the Iron Bird, Boom's integration test facility in Colorado. They will also provide full flight simulators and a training curriculum for advanced flight training. Boom Supersonic has made headway on their design this year, setting themselves up to begin production of their supersonic airliner in 2024, with initial rollout in 2026. Should all go well, the company anticipates type certification in 2029. And after these messages, National Test Pilot School announces new business unit.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
If it looks good, it usually flies good. The Bristol series of aircraft is proof of that. Furthering their legacy of safety and efficiency, Bristol is proud to feature the Rotax 915 IS Turbo in the current lineup of aircraft. The 915 IS Turbo power plant offers more power than ever before in a light sport aircraft. Learn more about Bristol at www.sportflyingusa.com.
Welcome back. National Test Pilot School announces new business unit. The National Test Pilot School is the United States' sole civilian test pilot institution. The nonprofit enterprise is one of only 7 worldwide test pilot schools recognized by the International Society of Experimental Test Pilots, and it's a good one. ANN's Jim Campbell is a graduate of one of their fixed-wing programs and recommends them highly. The curriculum of the NTPS's Professional Test Pilot program initially followed the format and flow of the course taught at the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School, but has since been revised to better meet contemporary test pilot missions. The school staff comprises primarily retired military officers holding both advanced academic degrees and certification from formal test pilot schools. The NTPS has just announced the creation of a new nonprofit business unit in a statement reading, quote, "On behalf of the NTPS Board of Trustees and the Board of Directors of Flight Research Inc., we are pleased to announce the acquisition of Flight Research Inc. assets and the creation of a new NTPS not-for-profit business unit, Flight Research International, LLC. Flight Research is a world leader in aircraft maintenance, advanced flight training, specializing in upset prevention and recovery training, flight test support, preparation for space travel, and custom high-performance aircraft support and flight training," end quote. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. The Airborne crew will be taking a break over the New Year's weekend and we'll be back here Tuesday. Thanks for watching.